Hi Libra, what's going on? We're here with your mid-May reading. I hope that everybody's doing well. First cards that we have out, I'm seeing Seven of Cups and Four of Pentacles. Okay. You could have a lot of different stuff surfacing at this point. You may feel more inclined to take a conservative approach to whatever is popping up. I'm also seeing that you have a lot going on too. So a lot on your plate, all about balance. You could feel too like you really need to sort of use your energy wisely at this point, because you could feel with Ten of Wands like you need every last ounce of it. Having Judgment and having Knight of Cups here, this can be like assessing what you're sharing. This can be assessing what you're saying, wanting to make sure that you're making practical moves, but that could also be something that you're trying to figure out. Having Seven of Cups and having Knight of Pentacles here can be, I don't always know what the most practical thing is to do, or the thing that's going to be most helpful to what I'm trying to accomplish here. And so you could be in a period of sort of figuring out what that is for you, when you're sort of faced with a lot of different avenues or ways that you could go. Having Four of Pentacles looks like something that maybe previously you didn't think that you were going to budge on, but you could be seeing that you were holding on to something in a way that was actually making something more difficult, or it could have been something that you were, like a way that you were stuck in, or it could be a mindset that you had. But I'm seeing the Hanged Man, which means that something that before you would have like maybe not considered changing up or doing a different way, or letting go of, or loosening your grip. Hanged Man can have you seeing things in a very different way. This can have to do with your resources, home situation, your stability, those types of things. And you could feel like you're getting more to the bottom of like what's important as well. I'm seeing the Lovers. There can be a relationship choice or a partnership choice that's being made, but the Lovers doesn't have to be an interpersonal thing. It can be you doing what you care about, wanting to do what you care about. What do you care about? What's going to be most beneficial for you to move in the direction of? In this case, the Lovers is feeling like what you're sort of connected to, or what you're tied to. It also seems like taking a good look at this is going to mentally liberate you in a way where maybe you were feeling stuck before. Actionable resolutions. Now, the last card that I'm looking at is Nine of Cups. We're actually going to pull this down here. Having Seven of Cups and having Knight of Pentacles, you may have different offers coming in and you're like, which one do I actually want? If this is not offers coming in, you may be looking at your options and being like, what's going to be most helpful as a means of connecting me further with like what I'm trying to accomplish here and why I'm using my energy in the first place. And Nine of Cups can be trying to make it more clear what you want. This Seven of Cups is sort of like emotions on the surface, and this Nine of Cups, which can talk about like options and being like, well, which one is it? What do I pick? This Nine of Cups feels like it's sort of going below the surface to see like what you really are connecting with, what you're really resonating with. And having Knight of Pentacles can be figuring this process out, like getting to the deeper function of your heart space through practical means. So this means that whatever it is that you're doing, you're paying attention to it. You're sort of like craft working in a way that feels like you are doing things in a way that you feel good about, where you're like, I like the way that I'm giving my energy to this, or I like the way that I'm sort of entering into the space and moving around. Now, having Four of Pentacles and having the Hanged Man, again, there could be certain stuff that you're holding on to or that you had been holding on to where, like in your mind, this was just stuff that you hold on to and you may have not considered doing anything differently with it. Hanged Man can come through and it can have you be realizing that holding on to certain things, rather than helping you, could have been hindering you in some way. But until taking the time to sort of reflect and realize this, again, it can be like a mind frame, it can be a standard, it can be a perspective. This can also be about releasing control too. You may be surrendering to a process as well. Like, it's not going to work this way, and so I'm going to have to bend a little bit here. Now, having Ten of Wands and having the Lovers can be like difficult choices that need to be made when it comes to what and who you are connected to. Having Queen of Wands is about making choices here that have you feeling like your best self, that have you feeling most confident, most self-assured, that feel most aligned with your standards as well. Having Judgment and Eight of Swords is about really dissecting and looking into what's been having you feeling stuck lately. Seeing someone with a shiny necklace, because it feels like this is going to be the way to securing what you're trying to secure here. Nine of Cups, what you really want. Nine of Swords, you could have been like worried about, it's like you're feeling something and you're like, I really, really want that, or I want to connect with that, or this is what I feel like is really going to bring a sense of fulfillment, or this is what's deeply resonating with me on a feeling level. Nine of Swords is sort of where you were getting in your own way mentally from allowing yourself to move throughout a process in a way that you feel good about. So you could have been like, I'm so anxious about this, or I'm so worried about this, or I'm so preoccupied or overwhelmed with all the thoughts that I'm having that it's taking me out of feeling my way through this process. But I'm seeing Queen of Wands and I'm seeing Ten of Pentacles, and this feels like you looking out for figuring out how to achieve this like ideal goal that you have. And it feels like it's by like picking and choosing and being very deliberate with this process, and also not getting into the mind frame where something is impossible for you to do. Because Nine of Cups feels like I do know what I want when I reflect, and Nine of Swords can be like all of the things that are telling you that's not possible, that keep you from feeling like, yes, I can do this, or I'm capable. So it feels like working with that, but it's by needing to release control or like preconceived notions or really rigid ways that you were doing things that were just sort of increasing all of this mental static for you. Maybe you felt like your security was potentially being threatened. That could have been why you were holding on to something. Maybe you felt like if you let go of something, you wouldn't be able to get what you wanted. I'm seeing this have both physical implications, like what's playing out physically for you, and then also emotional ones as well, or things that are connected just with what you're feeling. Seven of Cups and Five of Swords feels like I'm having a hard time right now telling the difference between my heart narrative versus my ego narrative. Because ego is going to be like looking out for you and your survival and making sure that you're safe. And your heart is going to be like, let's make a move that maybe you're uncomfortable with. Like it feels more of an intuitive advising that you're getting. But because of having Seven of Swords here, you could be like, well, I don't want that to threaten my peace of mind or my security or my stability, those types of things. Feels like bringing these together and getting these energies to work together is definitely going to be beneficial. But that's why you may have been sort of in these two different places. Of like, on one hand, I am experiencing this narrative. On the other, I'm experiencing this narrative. having Knight of Cups and the Devil can be having feelings come up that you're recognizing will keep you in the same cycles and patterns out of fear. So it is the ego looking out for you and being like, I just want to keep you safe, but it's keeping you in some type of cycle of fear. It feels like this is connected with worrying about like stability, resources, finances, security, home, that type of thing. But it feels like through breaking this down and seeing what was going on, you're able to crack it open and understand what's happening. I'm seeing something feel stressful, something feel difficult. For many of you, this has to do with an interpersonal relationship and what may have been blocking you from showing up in a way where you feel like you're really showing up as yourself through this process. And like, I just keep getting this vibe of like your best self, which is really feeling like I'm showing up in a capable way, in a capable manner, where I'm believing in myself, where I'm trusting myself, where I'm honoring myself and my feelings and how I want to do this. And also respecting myself and my needs and my desires and my drive and what feels interesting to me and what I actually want to be doing rather than what I'm keeping myself doing out of fear. Four of Pentacles. This can be like what I thought I needed to hold on to because that was keeping me safe. Having Hanged Man here helps us see through the illusions of what is like a false narrative around those things of I thought that this was keeping me safe, but actually I'm seeing that it was keeping me stuck. Nine of Swords can be sort of starting to recognize that, but then being like, but then what's that going to mean if I'm really fully recognizing this, that I'm going to have to sort of grow now, I'm going to have to sort of expand now. And then coming back over here to Seven of Cups, which can be sort of like out of all of these options in front of me and all of these feelings and all of these paths, like what's really the right way to go? I'm trying to feel my way through this. Having Knight of Pentacles here is about taking just 1 foot in front of the other, taking steps that are practical, taking steps that are thinking about like what you're trying to achieve and where you're going, not rushing the process. And that if you do this in a way where it's like slow and steady, just one thing at a time, it's going to connect you with Nine of Cups, which is feeling like at peace and also feeling like you're in a spot feeling wise, like emotionally and mentally where you want to be. And also then feeling like you can express that, even if that's just my understanding of that within my relationship with myself. Some of you, this is going to highlight what you want within an interpersonal relationship and you being able to express like what you really want. Because I'm seeing what had sort of been crossing you being able to express maybe with this person where you're really at on an emotional level. What was crossing that was feeling unsure about things because the ego was like, I don't know if you should say that, or I don't know if you should do that. Like, I'm trying to keep us safe right now, like that type of thing. But again, felt like it was keeping you caged in like some type of cycle of fear. And then that not feeling good, like that not sitting well with you, and then making things feel like they're confusing because of that, when really you already know what it is. I do feel like there were two distinct narratives that you were like, well, which one is which here? And this is going to clarify that for you. And it can also be connected with deeply how you have been feeling about a relationship and feeling a lot of like stress or a full plate or those types of things that were associated with a relationship and feeling like it's coming down to a point where something needs to be done, where action needs to be taken, and wanting to do so in a way where you feel like you're showing up the way that you want to show up in this process, in a way where if you were on the outside looking in, or you had like somebody that you really respect watching you go through this, you would be proud of the way that you showed up in this situation. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.